won the toss and deferred, so they will kick off. You see the Fighting Illini in the orange pants with the white tops, Northwestern in the purple tops, and back deep there is Solomon Vault, a freshman out of Gaithersburg, Maryland, and we're ready to go from near the lake shore in Evanston, Illinois, as Taylor Zaleski sends it to the back of the end zone, and Northwestern will begin today at their own 25-yard line. So let's solve one of those riddles at quarterback right away, and we see Zach Oliver picking up his first career start at the helm for the Wildcats.
Yeah, and watching Oliver on film a little bit, he finished the game against Purdue last week. Man, does he have a strong arm. I was really impressed with the way he can throw the ball around the yard. Plus, he's a big kid at 6'4", 240 pounds. That's no slouch running the football. So we'll see if he can get this Wildcat offense up and running.
Trevor Siemian tore his ACL in the second quarter of their win at Purdue, so it is Oliver running left. Justin Jackson trying to weave his way for a tough yard up to the 26-yard line. Let's take a look at our impact players when Northwestern has the football.
Well, it was the man you just carried the football right there, Justin Jackson, the true freshman, 1,057 yards on the year. And then Dan Vitale, the tight end, super back. They move him all over the place. And then defensively, Amon Heim, the leading tackler for Illinois, is a guy we have to keep an eye on. And the other guy is Jihad Ward, defensive lineman, who makes a lot of plays.
Nice second effort there by Jackson for a gain of 8. It's going to set up a third down and short, a 3rd and 1 for the Wildcats.
Vital to keep the chains moving early on for this Wildcat offense.
Right back to Justin Jackson, and he has the first down across the 35 to the 36. And indeed, the drive will continue for Northwestern, thanks to the true freshman out of Carroll Stream, Illinois.
And he got some good blocking. That was just a power play. They let a back and the backside guard pulling into the hole and getting enough push for Jackson to get the first down.
Oliver going to put it in the air for the first time, and a quick throw, but an immediate tackle at the 39-yard line. The Dan Vitale for a gain of 3. There's the first target of Vitale, an impressive junior. Very versatile player, Ray.
Yeah, he's the super back, and he fits the description. I don't know if he's jumping out of phone booths anywhere, but they use him all over the place as a wing, as an outside receiver. They like to get him the football.
Oliver to the near side, deflected, looking for Cameron Dickerson, and Zane Petty, the safety over there, also in the vicinity.
And Petty, I think, just got a fingernail on that thing, disrupted it enough to where Dickerson couldn't bring it in. You see, just at the end, looks like he got the finger on it, and that disrupted the flow for Dickerson.
Now they converted a 3rd and short earlier on the drive. Now this is a 3rd down and 7. Jackson, that's actually Green, who motions into the backfield, and then some movement.
It's Dickerson.
Offense number 19, 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
So it's going to become a 3rd down and 12 now after that 5-yard penalty.
And those are the kind of drive killer penalties you can't have. 3rd down penalties are the worst for an offense. Now you look at 3rd and long, puts a lot of pressure on the young quarterback. I say young, he's a junior, but making his first start.
Go to the empty backfield with 5 receivers. In motion now into the backfield comes Trayvon Green. Oliver sets in the pocket, throws to the near side, and a little short and incomplete at midfield, looking for Tony Jones. 4th down.
The Illini went to man-to-man coverage, and Oliver wasn't able to get the ball out with the pressure on. He had an open receiver down there as Jones had broken away and gotten a decent position.
Chris Bredone on to punt, averaging 38 yards a punt this year. His long has been 55. Darius Mosley, Mike Dudek, each back to receive this punt. And a short got a line drive, taken at the 35, and immediately pile drive down there is Mosley.
Yeah, it looked like Matthew Harris with the coverage was one of the first guys there to get a hit. And looks like he's paying the price for it. Bam, right there. That's just face to face.
On the field for an injured Northwestern player.
Yeah, he is shaken up after what was a 30-yard punt.
Yeah, Matthew Harris, a gunner on the punt team, flying down there, got that initial hit, but it's like finally able to pop back up off the ground. It's good to see him ambulating on his own power there.
Well, one of our mysteries is going to be resolved right here. One of the many mysteries of this football game, Ray, and that's the starting quarterback. And I don't think you're too surprised that it's the senior Riley O'Toole.
That's what I thought it would be. You know, O'Toole being a senior, but he really played well at the end of the game last week when they knocked off Penn State. Kept plays alive with his feet. They tend to run the football more with O'Toole in that quarterback position.
Okay. Back is Donovan Young. Keeping O'Toole. Spins forward to the 39-yard line. Picks up 4 on first down. Tackled by Drew Smith. Look at our impact players when the Illini has the football.
Yeah, Wes Lunt will come in at quarterback. He likes to throw the ball around the yard a lot more. Mike Dudek, the freshman, is their #1 receiver. They'll move him all around to get him the football. Araguzzo and Campbell, the 2 defensive stalwarts for the Wildcats.
O'Toole looking to throw, swings it out to Young out of the backfield, runs up near the 45. They're going to mark him out short of the first down and around the 43-yard line, a gain of 4.
Pretty nice job of blocking by Geronimo Allison. Allowed Young to get the corner.
Sets up a 3rd down and 2 for Illinois on this, their first possession of the game. Converting at 38%. Young and Ferguson the backs. Give is to Young. And he's going to have the first down. Some 2nd and 3rd effort up to the 47, 48-yard line. Ibrahim Campbell with the tackle, but not before a gain of 5.
Yeah, and Alex Hill, number 52, give him a big assist on this, because watch this offensive guard at the end of the play when it's still in doubt. You don't know if Young's going to get it. Right there, number 52 gives him the big push from behind to get the first down. And that is legal. You can't pull a guy forward, but you can push him from behind.
O'Toole, option. He's going to keep it. Midfield hit there. It does lean into Northwestern territory for a gain of 3 at the 49. Jimmy Hall, the stop for the Cats.
Really is a different offense with Riley O'Toole running the reins, having the reins back there. A lot more quarterback run, which we just saw there with that option. Play action pass is big with Riley O'Toole, and 3 runs, 1 pass. That's kind of how they roll with O'Toole in the ball game.
There's their 5th play of this drive on 2nd down and 7, and a flag at the snap.
I don't know if they got it off in time.
False start. Offense number 3. 5-yard penalty. Remain 2nd down.
That's John Davis. So each team now in their opening drive are guilty of jumping early. You see him, he's the wing down at the bottom of your screen. Just had a little indigestion, maybe a hiccup or something.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, I think so.
Still probably a little bit too much turkey from the other night?
Well, can't wait to get my hands on some. I haven't had that privilege or pleasure yet, but I will.
Well, 2nd down and 12, clock running, under 11 minutes to go first quarter, and there's O'Toole to throw. That ball may have been tipped. It goes off the fingertips of Geronimo Allison and incomplete on the far sideline.
And I don't know if it did get tipped or not, but it definitely got away from O'Toole a little bit. Kind of flung out there high and wide. And you see, really, that'd have been a good catch, but a receiver will tell you if he gets his hands on the ball, he ought to bring it in.
Illinois with a 3rd down and 12. From their own 46, no score here early in this first quarter from Evanston.
They like to work the weak side in this empty formation. That'll be the top of the screen.
O'Toole pressured, rolling out, and just heaves it out of bounds.
He had no chance really to get that thing going because the pressure from Dean Lowry got there in a hurry. Lowry rushing at the top of your screen just blows right past Alex Hill and puts the pressure on O'Toole.
Had a hold of his left arm as he let go of that pass.
Justin hand holding out there.
Justin Duvernois, the senior punter. Jones back, fighting the son.
That son's a beast.
And they're going to down it inside the 5. Big punt by Duvernois, 51 yards with no return to pin in the Cats. Almost 6,000 passing yards to finish off with. But how about Northwestern here beginning their own 3, and Jackson bounces off the pile and lunges forward to the 10 to give him some breathing room there. A gain of 7.
Pretty good patience.
Green, that is.
By Green. Nowhere to go initially, and now they get into this tempo trying to hurry things up.
That's Vitale in motion. Right back to Green, off right tackle this time, and bottled up. No gain.
Jihad Ward just stepped up and kept contained, kept his outside leverage, and threw a big old left meat hook, and that wrapped Green right up.
Ward, a junior out of Philadelphia.
I'd love to find Don Vitale and make him a part of things in these third down situations. He's in that bunch group at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, the closest to the line of scrimmage, looking at his direction, but now going to take off on 3rd and 3, and with the slide.
Well, where did he initiate the slide? That's the question. Did he get to the 13-yard line? Because that's where he needed to move the chains.
Yeah, according to the spot, he did not.
That's a tough one. That's why one of the things I don't like about sliding is where they mark you down. It's where you initiate the slide, and that really cost Oliver a first down there. Had he gone, head first, he definitely would have had it.
Well, it comes up about a half-yard short. Chris Gradone on to punt, standing at his own goal line.
Punting into the wind here. But otherwise, what a beautiful day we've got going on.
Mosley calling for the fair catch at midfield.
His ankle at the end of the game last week, not able to go.
Second possession for Illinois. They begin at their own 49-yard line. Again, O'Toole at quarterback, and he's looking to throw on first down, and that's deflected incomplete off the hands of Dean Lowry.
Lowry gets a big hand up, knocks that one away. And they tell you, if you can't get there, get your hands up, do some jumping jacks, and try to knock that thing out of the air. Nice play by Lowry, because the back, Young, was around the edge, and that could have been a big play.
Lowry, who's their leader in sacks, tackles for loss as well, a junior out of Rockford, Illinois. O'Toole fires. It has a man wide open at the 47-yard line, and that's Dudek. He will be target number 1, as he usually is most afternoons for Illinois, gain of 4.
Yeah, they really like to feature Dudek, and they'll move him around. He was in the slot this past time, just running a shallow crossing, kind of a drag route in front of the linebackers to get him in a manageable 3rd and 6 here.
Empty backfield. Riley O'Toole. Rolling out right, dumps it off, has his man wide open, and it's a first down catch and run out of the backfield for Ferguson, but there is a flag back at the 40.
Might be an illegal pick. They ran a little crossing route, bringing Ferguson underneath. And a lot of times you get a little natural rub there, and if the officials think it's unnatural, they'll throw that offensive pass interference flag.
If it would stand, it would be a gain of 11 and a first down, but that seems remote.
Pass interference.
No.
Offense number 18. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, 3rd down.
Well, in the vein you were speaking of, though, Ray, offensive pass interference on Dudek.
Right, and that's what you got right here. You see at the bottom of your screen. I mean, that's a flat-out pick. He just throws a shoulder into the defender trying to come across for Northwestern. And that was Anthony Walker. Didn't have a chance.
So it backs Illinois up to their 39-yard line. Line to gain for a first down is the 41 of Northwestern. 3rd and 20. O'Toole taking a shot deep down the near side, overshooting the intended receiver, Geronimo Allison.
Allison just stopped his route. I don't know if he couldn't see because he's looking back into the sun or what, but he stopped and then tried to reheat the engines and track it down, but by then it was too late, overthrown.
Second punt for Justin Duvernois with Tony Jones back shading his eyes with his hands at the 15 of Northwestern.
He found a 51-yarder on the first punt to give the Illini good field position. Got another one.
Yes. Going to take a bounce at the 15 and goes sideways out of bounds at the 16. That time for Justin Duvernois, a 45-yard punt with no return. No score, 7:26 to go first quarter.
The East Division, Big Ten standings, Michigan trailing Ohio State 7-0 early on.
Carry for Jackson for just a yard or two. So far in this game, Ray, it's been a stalemate. Prior to this possession for Northwestern, each team has had the ball twice. Each team converted one first down on their first drive, and each team a 3-and-out on their second.
And you haven't seen the ball fill in the air yet. A lot of runs here early. Get things established.
Near side, stepping out of bounds at the 25-yard line is Jackson. That's a gain of 6.
20th catch of the year for Jackson. Could work him out of the backfield, involve him. And that's one thing when you have a new quarterback, which Zach Oliver obviously is, although they're bringing in Matt Alviti right now on this particular play, you're going to see a lot of shorter passes. Tight ends and backs become very involved. Now, with Alviti in, look for him to run the football. That's why he's in the ballgame.
And it's 3rd down and 2. In motion, Vitale. Alviti throws the football and a little high and incomplete off the fingertips of Vitale. Mixing it up a little bit there. We don't see many passes from Alviti. He's only attempted one prior to that, and that was a 3-yard completion this year.
Yeah, and I like the call, and he's got it wide open. All he's got to do is stick it on the 4 and the 0 of Vitale, because that's going to be a first down. But he overthrew it, got a little bit amped up, a little excited, throwing his first pass, and the adrenaline kicked it up a notch.
Second consecutive 3-and-out for the Northwestern offense. Chris Gradone already busy today with his 3rd punt. Fair catch called for. It lands and is going to be down at the 44. 31-yard punt. Well, it's flashy back. 24th ranked Illinois and Northwestern. This is October of 2011. The Illini rebound from a 28-10 third quarter deficit. Jacob Schmidt had a 6-yard TD run. Made it 35-31 with 1:15 left with 13 seconds left. Nate Shieldhouse had a 1-yard TD run to win the game for the Illini. 38-35. They've had some tight games in this series. Last year, 37-34, won by Northwestern down in Champaign.
Highly competitive between these two schools, fighting for the Land of Lincoln trophy.
Thrown on first down. O'Toole with an incompletion. The throw was over the intended receiver, Dudek, who then tried to adjust and bumped right into the defender.
Yeah, Kyle Cairo getting his first start out there at corner due to injuries. He basically cuts this route off extremely well. You see him get a nice jab there on Dudek, and might have got away with a little something there twice.
Was that just an uncatchable ball at the end when he ran into the defender?
It definitely was, for sure, and I think it might have been considered incidental contact because Cairo he's got a right to where he was at. You don't have to move out of the way for the receiver.
Donovan Young, midfield to the 45, inside Northwestern territory, and a first down to the 43-yard line before he's run out by Jimmy Hall in a 13-yard run.
Yeah, and you're going to see a nice job of getting the edge and coming down and getting the block. I believe it was Dudek who pinned that edge, almost a crackback type of situation.
A 13-yard run for Donovan Young is the longest play from scrimmage so far for either team in this game, with under 6 minutes to go in the first quarter.
That tight bunch at the bottom here to run at it.
O'Toole keeping. Knocked down at the 36-yard line by Drew Smith, 7-yard pickup.
That's what Illinois really wants to have, is success on first down. You know, when you get 2nd and 3-4 yards, that opens up the entire playbook, allows them to take a few chances with the quarterback Riley O'Toole throwing the football.
Hands it off to Young, uses his blocker, cuts back. to the 35, wrapped up by Chichi Araguzzo.
Araguzzo leading this Wildcat defense in tackles all over the field. Really like the way he plays, and they'll use him. They'll bring him to the edge, have him blitz off the edge, and move him around like the queen on a chessboard.
With a decent day today, he should go over 100 tackles for the season. 1 of 3 on third down so far today are the Illini. O'Toole keeping, then pitches and running wide right. There goes Josh Ferguson down the sideline. A late flag comes in back at the 25.
I think it's going to be holding. Justin Hardy out there blocking the edge did a great job. Initially, there was nobody to cover the pitch from the Northwestern defense. But I think there might be a reason for that. And Justin Hardy, we'll find out.
During the run, holding, offense, number 19. 10-yard penalty for the spot in the foul. Replay third down.
So they do indeed get the junior wide receiver Justin Hardy on the hold.
Yeah, and you're going to see it at the top of your screen right there. And the block looks good until at the end where Hardy just didn't let go. And when your hands are extended and you see the cloth being pulled, that's a pretty easy one for the official to reach down in that pocket, pull something out. But because of where the penalty was, it puts Illinois in a pretty decent position at 3rd and 1 here. But they got to get things figured out with that play clock running down.
Play clock down to 2, and now they're just going to use a timeout.
Yeah, Coach.
Timeout. Illinois, teams first.
Coach Cubitt on the sideline, the offensive coordinator, wasn't real pleased with the confusion. You can see he's letting it rip.
Well, winner of this game is bowl eligible. Both teams at 5 and 6, but Northwestern with a win could come up with a 500 conference season.
And finish with a 3-game winning streak, which helps you heading into the next year and also the bowl season. And getting a bowl bid for either of these teams is vital in the development of the program. Now, it gives you another 15 practices, basically amounts to another spring ball where you can keep on developing the bottom half of your roster, not to mention the top half.
Last home game for Northwestern was that tough 10-9 loss to Michigan back on November 8th. Went on the road, won at Notre Dame in overtime, and then beat Purdue last week handily 38-14 in West Lafayette.
Started around rolling up points, 43 and 38 in the last 2 games.
Here's the pitch. Young has the first down to the 25, makes a move inside the 20-yard line down there. Wrapped up by Abraham Campbell. Run of 14 yards on 3rd and 1.
Yeah, it's just an old-fashioned triple option veer play. Same thing they ran to the other side. Actually, this is a lead option, I should say, where you get the back out in front, throwing a block, clearing the way. And that's good execution, no doubt, as Ferguson finishes it off, moves the sticks.
O'Toole, time, now that time elapsing, and he takes off. And takes a hit at the 18-yard line from Anthony Walker, middle linebacker, a gain of 2.
Wes Lunt getting warmed up on the sidelines. We will definitely see him in this ball game. And talking to Coach Cubitt, the offensive coordinator, he said, we'll see both.
Lunt getting ready. Also a chance we could see a 3rd quarterback, Aaron Bailey, who's seen significant playing time as well. O'Toole hits his target. Dudek at the 13 to the 10.
O'Toole's pass is complete.
Dudek is the guy that they target in critical situations, and rightly so. Unbelievable skill and toughness Mike Dudek possesses. You see the numbers on the season, leading all freshmen in FBS with 82 yards a game. And he has really been a revelation for this Illini offense right from the get-go.
1st and goal from the 10.
Dudek at the top of the screen.
He comes in motion. O'Toole decides to take off, and he's hit right at the line of scrimmage. Dropped by Drew Smith, no gain.
Pretty good pop by Drew Smith, who's playing a spy technique. You know, they know O'Toole can run around it pretty good, so they're going to have them linebackers eyeballing him in scramble situations, and they just got to make an open field tackle, which Smith did a nice job of there.
Ninth play of the drive coming here for Illinois. With under 2 minutes to go in this first quarter.
Toole changing the routes on the outside.
Looking to the far side of the end zone for Dudek. Incomplete.
O'Toole's pass is incomplete. It was intended for Mike Dudek.
Well, Northwestern actually let one guy go free and doubled Dudek. And that's not a bad strategy, actually, because that's pretty much where the ball's going to go. Just slightly overthrown by O'Toole, and nobody blocked the big guy right there up the middle who got the hit on the quarterback. Northwestern's going to have to clean that up. That was Chance Carter with the pressure.
3rd and goal from the 10. The play clock again becoming an issue.
Second charge timeout, Illinois, 30 seconds.
So they burned 2 timeouts now on this drive because of the play clock.
And that's not going to make Bill Cubitt very happy on the sidelines. You know, you're talking week, 14 here, last game, and you shouldn't have those type of issues in terms of getting the right personnel on the field.
Illinois coming off a win over Penn State last weekend, 16-14, with the late field goal from David Reisner. Just 8 seconds remaining. 36-yard game winner.
They did a real nice job managing the clock and moving the football at the end of that game.
So here comes the 3rd and goal call from the 10 for the Fighting Illini.
Look for a little crossing route action to try and pick off. You know, we saw it earlier, and now Northwestern will take a timeout. They didn't.
Timeout, Northwestern, 30 seconds.
They didn't like how things were lined up. It's almost like a basketball timeout. You know, you get them, you come out, see what they're lined up in, then use your timeout. Try and stay one step ahead of the opposing unit.
Well, head coach Pat Fitzgerald of Northwestern, who's now in his 9th season, he will turn 40 years old in a few days on December 2nd. I asked him during the week, I said, so what's it going to be like when you're in your 40s now and you're no longer that young, hip guy in your 30s coaching these young kids?
You got a chuckle out of that. Said he hadn't even thought about it yet. And of course, leave it to you to put that in his head.
The only longer tenured Big Ten coach, by the way, is Kirk Ferentz at Iowa.
Yeah, Coach Fitz has had a great run thus far here at his alma mater.
Dudek at the bottom of the screen.
Coach Fitz coaches the linebackers during the game as the linebacker coach is up in the box.
O'Toole to the end zone, wide open, touchdown.
Touchdown.
I don't know what happened to Ibrahim Campbell. He was the nearest defender. There was nobody in the vicinity. Made it easy for Illinois to capitalize and finish off that drive.
Malik Turner with his first touchdown catch of the season. Wide open.
Yeah, definitely a blown coverage in the Wildcat secondary.
Turner, who's a freshman. When we talked with Bill Cubitt about him, he said, hey, he's a freshman, he's raw, but he's figuring it out. Well, he just figured it out with his first collegiate touchdown catch.
A real nice skill set. Extremely fast guy that reach out and catch the football with the hands.
David Reisner for the point after. And it's the Illini that have drawn first blood in this rivalry game with Northwestern. Well, the Malik Turner 10-yard touchdown catch capping off an 11-play drive and went 56 yards.
And they finally capitalized on the good field position they got from their punter.
Well, in case you missed it, video of that touchdown catch from Malik Turner now posted on the SportsCenter app. It's available on your mobile devices and tablets whenever you need it.
It's a beautiful thing. Coach Fitz talking to the secondary, and they're trying to figure out exactly what the malfunction was so it doesn't happen again. It looked like it was a miscommunication between Matthew Harris and Ibrahim Campbell.
Talked about the field position that Illinois finally took advantage of, Ray, so it seemed like a good decision for Illinois when they won the toss to defer and kick it away to begin the football game.
I used to love it when that happened. You want to play defense first, especially if you're on defense. Get out there and get it going. Get them butterflies out of your stomach. The only thing that really will do that for you is a good solid hit.
43 degrees, a little bit of the wind that's blowing that off the tee.
Well, I tell you what, though, relatively and comparatively speaking, this is a beautiful day.
Yeah, it could be a lot worse this time of year up here in Chicagoland.
I'm going to call it balmy.
By the way, average starting field position for Illinois, their own 43. For Northwestern, their own 16.
Yeah, that's been a difference thus far. Shorter field for Illinois. They were able to convert.
Now they're going to begin at their own 25. After the touchback.
Matt Alvidi, it looks like he's in that pile, in that huddle. See if he gets the call at quarterback. He's come in throughout the year and played basically a Wildcat type of position, and now he's going to go to the sideline. But he's been able to practice and function in the entire offense all week long with Semien out. And I think at some point they're going to give him a chance to run the offense as opposed to specialty plays that they have for him when he comes in.
Oliver play fake. Goes to the far sideline in double coverage. Is that picked? It is. Intercepted by Ernest Thomas.
Ernest Thomas just ran that corner route for the receiver. He knew it right from the get-go. He runs the route and steals it away. You see him watching me just right underneath, right in the hip, right where he should be, gets the eyes back around. And I mean, he was at the spot where the quarterback expected the receiver to be at the end. He wrests it away, comes up with a big takeaway.
An interception is under further review.
We're going to take a look at it up in the booth with replay official Steve Beckman. Tony Jones was the intended receiver, and as you mentioned, Thomas had him bracketed, and then Petty was also right there.
Yeah, you can see. All right, let's see. He makes the catch. Does he have possession completely before he's out of bounds? Looks like a good play to me. You can see Jones trying to wrest the ball away from him. I don't see him actually really lose possession or bobble it. I want to say that's going to stand. Might even be confirmed.
It'll be the first interception of the year for Thomas, a senior out of Southfield, Michigan.
After further review, the ruling on the field if an interception is confirmed. First down, Illinois.
Indeed, it is confirmed. So the pick for Thomas, and Illinois takes over at the Northwestern 49 after this pick.
Yeah, and it puts them again in good field position. This is about where they started in their last drive when they capped it off with the touchdown.
Well, look at that starting field position. Illinois leading thanks to a Malik Turner 10-yard touchdown catch. Pump fake, now rolling right. O'Toole decides to throw and has his man completely wide open. Here's nice Ferguson move. Inside the 10. 42-yard run. Matthew Harris had a shot at him and missed him.
Yeah, that's because he put the spin-a-rooney on him. That was a whale of a move down the field, and that's the thing that...
Right back to the line, and O'Toole, does he get in? Boy, he flipped the ball towards the official, or he got knocked down. He is short.
Going back to that last play, that's what O'Toole does for you. He stays alive, and at the end of the play, keeps his eyes down the field. He'll find somebody wide open like he did.
They keep the tempo, hand it off, and finishing it off appropriately is Ferguson.
Oh, and Northwestern needs to wake up, because right now the Illini are getting ready to put a whooping on them. And as you mentioned, Mark, the tempo, you can see Northwestern really not lined up and ready to go.
7th rushing touchdown for Josh Ferguson. 2 touchdowns in just 45 seconds for Illinois.
That's what you call capitalizing on the takeaway right there in a hurry. 3-play scoring drive.
Reisner missed it, hit it left.
He yanked that thing.
Second time this year he has missed a point after in 24 attempts. And it's 13-0.
Watch him overstride, and he just pulls that thing. Reminds me of one of my golf shots.
Hooked it left.
Yeah, it might have had a duck hook on the end of it even.
Well, the winner of this game becomes bowl eligible. Both teams at 5 wins coming in. The losers' season is over. And really for Northwestern, they've been facing that the last few weeks, Ray. I mean, when they lost to Michigan here, they knew they had to win out to finish at 6 wins. One at Notre Dame in overtime, then one last week at Purdue, 38-14. Right now, on the short end of the 13-0 score make that with 56 seconds left in the quarter.
Yeah, when you see a team that really doesn't have a lot to fight for, and yet they continue to fight, like Northwestern, that tells you there's some good coaching going on. The guys have a high buy-in level with this program, that they just don't fold up the tent and say, oh, well, better luck next year. These guys have continued to fight for Coach Fitz.
Gonna have to hold, keep it on the tee.
And that wind is coming pretty good at the back of the Illini.
Zaleski's kick with vaulted hand back. And the knee taken by Solomon Vault. So once again, Northwestern will begin at their own 25-yard line. Time for the Northwestern offense to show up in this football game, Ray.
It is. You know, it's tough when you're transitioning to a new quarterback like they are with Zach Oliver. They need to get him into some kind of rhythm and get him going. He's got a great, strong arm. He can make all the throws. There's no question about that.
Only 32 total yards right now for Northwestern. And he played pretty well in that second half at Purdue. You thought maybe he would bring some momentum into this game, but that has not been the case.
Yeah, led a couple of touchdown drives, and the offense ran pretty well with him.
Justin Jackson. Gain of 5 on first down up to the 30.
I like the way Jackson runs the football. I mean, he's very quick, got the good feet, the vision, all those things that follow it. And, he's only 185 pounds right now. I imagine him, ending up around 205, 210 and adding power and strength to his game.
Oliver hands it off again to Jackson, trying to turn that left corner. Does so, has the first down up to the 38-yard line before he's wrapped up by linebacker TJ Neal.
And you can see the patience that Jackson has, and he changes his speeds. And that's something that you see more veteran type running backs do, but this true freshman has a nice knack for using his gas pedal.
For Justin Jackson, this time coming to the wide side of the field, and he nearly turned that corner for even more yardage, but still runs to midfield and picks up another 11. That was Zane Petty with the ankle tackle to prevent that from being a lot bigger gain.
And this Northwestern offensive line is starting to push people around.
That play, Mark.
And heating up a little bit. See if they can sustain it.
First down at midfield for the Cats. Right back to Jackson. Cuts back, makes a spin, got away from one tackler, and falls forward up to the 47-yard line for 3 yards.
This Illinois defense under coordinator Tim Banks really likes to blitz. Haven't seen him really turn it loose yet here this afternoon, but throughout the day, they will bring some heat. Here it comes.
High snap, loose ball, and Illinois recovers. Mason Monheim, and the Northwestern drive comes to an end with a turnover.
Yeah, just as I mentioned the blitz, they bring a crossfire.
On the field was a fumble recovered by Illinois. First down.
Bringing both middle linebackers. Right there you see TJ Neal Jr., the first guy, he comes, and then Monheim comes around, loops behind him, and it works out perfectly because the football was laying right there on the ground for him.
Yeah, that snap was so high that even the back Jackson reached for it. And the second Northwestern turnover, just when their offense was starting to find some momentum. But once again, Illinois starts with great field position at the 48-yard line of the Cats. Here's the pitch. And the flea flicker. Young right back to O'Toole, going deep and incomplete. A flag, though, at the 10. Dudek, the intended receiver.
And it looked like Cairo got his hands on Dudek early.
Pass interference. Defense, number 21. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
Cairo's big for a corner at 6'3", 200 pounds, the redshirt freshman. He's getting his first start today as Nick Van Hoos is out, but you see him, he had almost a horse collar like on Dudek. Pulled him back, and those are easy to call. Right out in front of everybody like that.
The first down for the Illini. The Northwestern 33. O'Toole hands off to Young. Young, 25-20 to the sideline. Does a little stutter step and is run out of bounds at the 13 by Kyle Cairo. 20-yard gain.
Illinois pulls the backside guard and they bring that tight end around. So they got two guys leading the hole into the hole. Right there, you see them both flashing in front. Good block there to get it done by Matt Lacoste, the tight end, pulling.
Another run for Young. To the 11 for a gain of 1.
This is the area of the field where Northwestern will dial up some blitzes themselves. Getting that red zone, you don't have to cover guys for near as long. And a lot of teams like to bring pressure in this area, force that ball out from the quarterback and make him uncomfortable.
O'Toole with time. Dumps it off underneath. Young. He's thrown down for a loss. Back at the 19 by Matthew Harris.
Great coverage in the secondary by the Wildcats as O'Toole had all day. I mean, but there was nobody to throw it to. The coverage was outstanding. Had to dump it down to the edge. Northwestern responds. Harris with the tackle for the loss.
Loss of 4. They gave him a pretty good spot, though, Illinois. At the 16. Now Josh Ferguson in as the back.
Dudek's in the slot at the top, right on the hash. That's their primary guy in this area. Well, all areas for that matter.
Coming to the near side, though, a jump ball, incomplete. Shy of the goal line was Geronimo Allison. Tied up there with Cairo.
Cairo just cut the route off. There was nowhere for Allison to run his route.
So a field goal attempt for David Reisner, who missed an extra point a short time ago.
He missed it left, so it might help him being on the right hash here. Just doing the math.
33, close to a 34-yard attempt. Who's long this year is 36 out of the hold of Duvernois. That one does go left, but it sneaks in there. So you were right, Rick.
To see him actually run a series once, and I think Northwestern would like to see that as well. Know what they have in this redshirt freshman.
Taylor Zaleski now kicking into the wind for the first time.
Doesn't even bother.
Squibs it. Taken by the up man at the 27-yard line. Diedrich tackled at about the 32 or 33.
I love it when the up man gets the football and just tries to run people over. Diedrich, one of those super backs.
Will be the best starting field possession for Northwestern today, beginning at their own 33-yard line.
And Northwestern is actually on the far side here today. Generally, they're on the other side, but the coach knew the sun would be on them, so he kept his guys in the sun. Changed sidelines.
Must have checked the extended forecast a few days ago before he made that call to know it was going to be sunny. Well, Oliver stays in there at quarterback. Fakes the handoff. Throws across the middle and intercepted again. It bounced off the receiver's hands and is picked off by the Illini Eaton Spence, who returns it to the 40.
Well, that thing just dropped in the hands of Spence.
That was Tony Jones, the intended receiver, and it went off him right to Spence.
And the Illini have not picked off a ton of passes this year. Just 3 coming in. But that one, that's really on the receiver, Jones. He's got to bring that in. I know he got hit as the timing was really immaculate for Zane Petty getting there when the ball does. And then you don't get an easier one than that. Eaton Spence must be living right, because that thing just dropped right out of the sky into his hands.
Already 3 Northwestern turnovers, and Oliver has been picked off his last 2 pass attempts.
Yeah, that one wasn't his fault, I gotta say.
Ferguson pushed back forward progress to the 38. Ibrahim Campbell and Dean Lowry with the stop, gain of 2.
Somebody has got to light a spark for this Northwestern football team, because right now, this early 11 a.m. local start, I don't know that they've got their wake-up call or not.
Five on the play clock.
Tool changing the play.
Pump fake. Tipped, incomplete at the 18. John Davis, the tight end, had a hand or 2 on that at a couple of different times.
And Davis beat it up before he dropped it. That was actually a nice throw and check by O'Toole at the line. Saw he had some man coverage. Tried to slide the tight end up the seam. It was there. Made the throw. Just didn't gather it in.
3rd down and 8. They're 3 of 6. On 3rd down today, 50% came in at 38% on the year. Lots of time. O'Toole is the only rush 3, and that is caught but short of the 1st down by Malik Turner. Gain of 5, but is this the part of the field here you're going to go for it on 4th down?
Yeah, I don't think you want to kick a field goal into this wind at right around 50, 51 yards. So punting doesn't seem like a very fruitful endeavor here. You go for it.
3 of 10 on 4th down this year.
Dudek is at the top of the screen. See if they want to target him.
He's lined up one-on-one out there. See if he gets some help. Now late comes Cairo, and they're going to need a timeout. Yeah, last thing they want to do is probably have Dudek out there on the edge, manned up.
Northwestern.
So Northwestern uses a timeout with his 4th down play upcoming.
And Dudek, his #1 primary target, is up top, looking like he's getting single coverage.
He comes in motion. O'Toole finds his man at the 30. Dudek again along the sideline. Tippy-toes his way all the way inside the 20. And a 1st down at the 17.
And O'Toole's pumped up, and he should be. This is great deployment. Watch, they're going to bring Dudek in motion. So now he's got a running head start as he kind of slides underneath that defense. Going against the grain. Comes up open on the edge, and then, boy, he can run with it after the catch. Showed you that right there.
O'Toole hands it off to Ferguson. For just 1 or so to the 15. Well, how about Dudek with the athleticism to avoid going out of bounds here?
Yeah, that's what you call the tightrope act down the sideline. He's just got great body awareness. He knows where those feet are. He's extremely quick. He's been an outstanding player all season as a true freshman here for the Illini. Their #1 receiving target.
Play fake. Here comes O'Toole, going to take off himself. Maneuvers to the 13. A gain of a couple, held up there by Anthony Walker.
Yeah, Walker did a nice job staying home. He had the discipline of mirroring the quarterback and then triggering when O'Toole decides to run. And Walker took over during the course of the season as a redshirt freshman, starting as an inside linebacker, and him and Arriguzo do a nice job playing that middle linebacker spot.
Dudek, one of the receivers in the slot there at the top of the screen. They had the back out wide. Ferguson, he comes in motion in the backfield, and under pressure, O'Toole dumps it off, but swarmed under for a loss back at the 18. That was Chichi Arriguzo, and a loss of 5. Will bring up 4th down.
Yeah, they also brought in Afedi Odenigbo, who's kind of a pass rushing specialist, #7. He's the one with the initial pressure coming around the end. Very good speed rusher.
This isn't a gimme here from 36 yards into the wind, with the wind also pushing it to the left.
He's on the proper hash, though, at least for the way Reiser's been hitting it. Oh,
Not good at all that time.
that's an understatement. That's a flat-out miss is what that was. Just in time to turn that one on.
Ditto. Keeping Oliver, lost the football again, and once again Illinois recovers.
Unbelievable.
Jihad Ward knocked it out, or Oliver just lost it, and Ward jumped on top of it. The turnover bug has bitten Northwestern badly today.
And Oliver, you see, I mean, he's had the football and just didn't really put it away as good as you'd like him to, but Ward playing quarterback all the way, nice discipline, and he just raked his hands across the chest of Oliver, and the ball came out way too easy.
4th turnover. Last 4 possessions for Northwestern have all ended in a turnover.
And they're fortunate not to be four scores behind at this point.
A really short field this time for Illinois, beginning at the 18.
If they take a shot.
Option, pitch, Ferguson, block on the edge. Well defended that time by Northwestern, run out at the 17-yard line.
And I think O'Toole pitched the ball too quickly. You have to get to the edge and force a defender to take you as a quarterback in order to make that pitch effective. You pitch it too quick, and one guy can cover both quarterback and pitch, and that's what happened.
We picked up a yard, 2nd down and 9. Dudek in the slot on that far side. They swing it out to him. Dudek. Nice open field tackle by Hall at the 15.
It really was. Dudek is no easy prey when he's got that ball in space.
Did pick up 3. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 6. All right, now the Illini have perfectly balanced run pass. They run 18 pass plays, 18 times they run it.
That's about what they do with O'Toole in the game. Now, when they put Wes Lunt in the game, you get about 3-to-1 pass to run.
O'Toole will be short at the 10. And now
that'll give Beckman an interesting question what to do here.
After that last field goal attempt here, Ray, what we saw is you just go for it here.
Absolutely, I would go for it here. You know, you're talking about a yard, and if you can't get a yard, then what good are you, really?
That's putting it plain, partner.
You know.
Split backs, Young and Ferguson. Northwestern wants to discuss.
3rd and final time.
They use their last timeout with 5:44 left in the half. Yeah, Matt, never give up control of the remote, especially on a weekend with this much good football, huh?
No doubt. Mine is at a constant fight at my house for the remote.
4th down and 1, Illinois.
My kids will take it and leave the room with it. Find it in their drawer upstairs.
Might have been some early movement on that left side by Austin Schmidt.
I know Northwestern came across. The question is, were they drawn?
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 57. 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
Austin Schmidt. You can watch on the left side of your screen. Gets a little bit of an early start. Of course, he reacted to the Northwestern player. That was Lowry, but Lowry had not crossed into the neutral zone before Schmidt moved. So it's going to be on the offense.
Well, this is Taylor Zaleski now going to attempt this. A 33-yard attempt from the left hash. Boy, he gets a lot of leg into that. And a high arcing field goal is good. Second field goal made in 4 attempts this year for Taylor Zaleski.
And after the way Reisner had hit that last one, it was time maybe to see what Zaleski could do.
Well, the unbeaten Seminoles fight to stay perfect in a Sunshine State rivalry showdown with the Gators. ESPN College Football, Florida versus number 3 Florida State, 3:30 Eastern on ESPN. You think Jameis Winston and the Seminoles will remain unbeaten?
Boy, they just have a knack for finding a way to win. As you see some of the information surrounding this game, it was Florida. It was the last team to beat Florida State. Maybe they can muscle something up in Muschamp's last game as their head coach. You know, they played hard for him last week. Let's see what they come up with.
Well, Taylor Zaleski, who just punched through the field goal, will kick off. 19-0 lead for Illinois. 5:39 to go. Again, this game, the winner becomes bowl eligible. The loser's season will end. And also, the winner takes home the Land of Lincoln Trophy, which right now Northwestern possesses.
Right, they've won it 2 years in a row, and the Illini want the hat back.
Which is what the trophy is. It's the bronze replica of the stovepipe hat.
Stovepipe? I was thinking stevedore, but stovepipe's better.
Solomon vaults. 30, 35.
He might go.
Hits midfield. Down the sideline. Is this the big play the Cats have been waiting for? No flags. 89-yard return for the freshman Solomon Vault.
Might have vaulted Northwestern back into this game. And this is set up very nice. Got blocks coming from each side. Oh, a really nice block there to kind of finish things off by Tommy Odell, the safety. And the only question is, did he step out of bounds? I don't see it. I think that's what you call 6 right there.
Point after for Jack Mitchell, sophomore out of San Diego. And on special teams, Northwestern, the kickoff return for touchdown for Solomon Vault of 89 yards. And I think indeed they have propelled themselves right back into the game, Rick.
No doubt, and that's sometimes what you need as your wake-up call, get things going from special teams.
The longest kick return for Northwestern prior to that on the season was a 31-yard return by Vault, and he completely blew that one out of the water.
He did, and that was a good execution across the board, though. He had a nice lane to run up through where guys were crossing from each side, setting up their blocks. And all he needed was that little step to get the edge, and away he went. Been a while since they returned a kick for a touchdown. It would be 2010.
Well, it's been 4 years, 5 seasons. It's a return to kick for a touchdown. This one courtesy of the freshman Vault.
Mitch Smith, our stats guru, digging deep into the playbook to find out when that last one was. Back in 2010.
That'll put a smile on a freshman's face.
Yep, and then he hops on the bike to stay loose. Why not? No chance of bringing that one back.
Mitchell's kick will not be returned, and the Illini back on offense this time from their own 25, which is poor field position for them to begin to drive
relatively
the way it's going
speaking.
today. Yeah.
Started everything right around midfield. But here they'll start the 25, and Riley O'Toole.
10 of 18. You just saw his numbers, and really for O'Toole and what you expect him to bring this offense, not a bad day for him so far, Ray.
No, I've been impressed with the way he's thrown the football. And the thing he does consistently is stay alive, keep plays alive, and then make a late throw.
Fake the jet sweep to Dudek and then just throws it over the head of the intended receiver, Davis, incomplete.
Yeah, that was sniffed out by the Northwestern defense. Anthony Walker, not fooled, stayed home and took that one away.
When you get a big lift like that, like we just saw for Northwestern, Ray, I'm sure they're thinking, hey, 3 and out, get the ball back and score again before halftime, and you're really right back.
No doubt. That's exactly what's on their mind. They got a glimmer of hope now, got a little momentum.
It's the worst starting field position for the Illini today. From their own 25, the zone read kept by Young for about 2 to the 27.
Great
third
play.
and 8 coming up.
Excuse me, Mark, by Dean Lowry, the defensive end. Kept his shoulders square, shuffled down the line, and then turned and made that tackle really from behind. Puts Illinois in a tough situation at 3rd down and 8. Gives Northwestern a chance to get after the quarterback, and they bring in Afadi Odenigbo there. He'll be the defensive end at the bottom of the screen. He's their designated pass rusher.
Here comes that rush. O'Toole batted down. Drew Smith got a big mitt on that, and it's 4th down, and it's a 3 and out for Illinois.
Heads up play by Smith. Getting into the throwing lane and sticking up a big old claw and knocking it down. See, just a 4-man rush from Northwestern and no games really. But they got enough push on the inside from Drew Smith to get him in that passing lane and force a punt.
And a low line drive punt from Duvernois. Jones lets roll, and it's down at the 32-yard line. Well, if Northwestern can get out of their own way, Ray, they may be all right.
Yeah, they get the interception here where, things just started snowballing. Bad high snap, they lose that one, and then just really unfortunate bounce for the quarterback, Zach Oliver, and then he just gets basically the ball raked away from Jihad Ward. There it is, 4 turnovers here, but they've been able to limit the points for Illinois off of those turnovers.
Not good when you have more turnovers than first downs, but they're going to give Matt Alvidi a shot here. He's played 1 play at this point, which was an incomplete pass. Just his 2nd pass attempt all year.
Primarily a runner.
Throws it out. That caused Jones to have to stretch to catch it, and then he was immediately hit and dropped for a loss back at the 29, losing 3.
Alvidi, we've mentioned, he's come in and been a one-and-done guy as far as running 1 play and then heading back to the sidelines. Here's really the first time I've seen him have a series to work with.
Redshirt freshman from Park Ridge, Illinois, Maine South High School. Hands it off this time to Justin Jackson. Before one of their earlier turnovers, Ray, Justin Jackson was their offense for that drive before they turned it over and was a very effective part of that offense. He has 10 carries for 48 yards. He'll go to the sideline on a 3rd and 8.
Yeah, he's been pretty much their only effective weapon on offense thus far. Haven't been able to spread the ball around and get guys involved.
Alvidi keep the drive alive on 3rd and 8. Now rushing, flowing out to the near side. He's going to set up, throw, dangerous, tipped, incomplete.
He tried to get Dan Vitale helping out. There is a flag down in the backfield, which usually indicates a holding call.
Which the Illini could refuse and force the punt.
Vitale did a nice job trying to help the young quarterback out, finishing a play and coming across and almost made a catch.
Holding. Offense. Penalties decline. So the play. Fourth down.
I think it was on the right guard, Adam DePietro, the right guard.
See, Alviti paid the price as he had to put the brakes on to make that throw down the field. And here's the result. You're right, that was almost picked off there by Fedulum.
Fedulum, a guy really coming on late here in the season. He's played very well for the Illini.
Yeah, played really well last week, late in the ball game against Penn State.
Mosley had to retreat. Takes it with a 27 and a flag there.
Yeah, you're going to get holding on this one by Cedric Doxey.
After a 47-yard punt from Gradone.
That'll back the Illini up to what is really poor field position. As
Mosley shaken up.
See Mosley limping off the field. Not sure what requires a debate of this magnitude, but trying to work it out.
Our referee today, Sean Smith.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 26, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down, Illinois.
Yeah, like I said, Doxey just riding his guy past the returner and ended up on his back. Can't push him in the back.
So spotted back at the 17, 18-yard line. So that's where the Illini begin. This is now their worst starting field position of the game. 2:54 left in the first half. Illinois with one timeout remaining.
I am surprised we have not seen Wes Lunt at all yet today at quarterback.
O'Toole keeping, breaks free, 30, 35, 40, tripped up there at the 43-yard line, caught from behind by Ibrahim Campbell, but a 24-yard run for the quarterback.
And he gets up a little bit gimpy, but he's going to stay in there. And that's what O'Toole gives you. He's just an extra threat in terms of carrying the football. Wes Lunt, he's not going to do that for you. O'Toole will. And again.
There he goes, same deal. Not quite as long a run, but it is another first down up to the 45. Jim Hall the tackle after a 24-yard run, a 14-yard gallop.
A real nice read there by O'Toole as he just ran that zone read to perfection.
This time gives it up, and Ferguson immediately wrapped up for a loss by Anthony Walker, losing a yard, or maybe back to the line of scrimmage.
They had two guys actually hooked up to each other. C.J. Robbins, I think he was stuck to the center. Joe Spencer. Sometimes those helmets, those snaps get stuck to each other.
Guess when that happens, you just have to sit still for a little bit. Don't panic.
Right. Start swinging is what I'd do.
2 minutes to go in this first half. O'Toole, quick strike, finds Dudek. He threaded that one in there to the wide receiver. A gain up to the 34, very close to the first down.
And that is all Riley O'Toole, seeing it from the snap and basically on his own, picking it up and throwing it to Dudek. Nobody else knew that was happening. Everyone else ran the play that was called a running play. It was just two guys on the same page taking advantage of an alignment.
And enough for a first down from the 34. Hit again in the backfield, spinning, but nowhere to go for Ferguson.
And Drew Smith just continues to get penetration from that right side of the defensive line, and once again makes a hit in the backfield.
Loss of 2, clock running. Again, Illinois does have a timeout at their disposal.
See those Northwestern defenders all checking their wrists. They got wristbands with the calls to combat the tempo from Illinois.
O'Toole being chased and caught from his knees at the 31 by Matt Lacoste. So down there, and there is a flag back at the 40.
Usually that's offensive holding where that thing has been thrown, but we'll see what happens.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 7. Half the distance penalty from the end of the run, first down, Illinois.
Denebo, defensive end, called for the personal foul. We saw O'Toole come up limping a little bit.
Yeah, that was after an earlier carry, and Denebo, that's where he makes his living, rushing the passer. They bring him in those situations primarily. I mean, he'll play some base stuff, but he's a designated pass rusher. You can't have that guy committing penalties and fouls hitting the quarterback late.
And a costly penalty. It's a first down from the 15, and O'Toole taking a shot to the end zone and has him wide open for the touchdown, Dudek.
Boy, Dudek is hard to cover. He is slippery. Just got inside of Cairo on the post route, made it easy.
14-yard touchdown. Dudek's 6th TD catch of the year. And for O'Toole, his 7th touchdown pass of the season.
And Coach Cubitt was congratulating his quarterback on a fine play. And that's just a little corner post move where Cairo bought the corner big time.
Reisner has missed the point after, so Zaleski's in there to attempt. Well, he gets a lot of arc and sticks it in that left upright. 7-play drive, went 82 yards. And Mike Dudek with the touchdown catch and the extra point makes it a 26-7 game.
And that was impressive from Riley O'Toole and the way he handled that drive with the mix of his running abilities. Got 10 carries for 66 yards now, ripped off a 24-yarder, and then finishing it up by finding his number 1 guy, the freshman Dudek. And it was easy after the move Dudek put on Cairo. Boy, that post was wide open.
You know, a good game for Dudek, and he's going to be over the 1,000-yard mark this year. He came in at 902, and he has 58 yards. So he's at 960 right now. 6 catches today for 58, now the touchdown. Pretty good day for O'Toole as well.
Yeah, extremely good day for Riley O'Toole. Getting it done as they expect from him, both running and throwing the football. That's the added dimension he brings.
Zaleski to line drive into that win, and
How about that?
a touchback.
Closed the face and hit a low liner there.
Got through the teeth of that breeze. So another chance for Alviti, but only 47 seconds left and no timeouts. So
I don't know if Alviti's going to get the call or probably Oliver.
Yep, it will be Oliver.
Yeah, he's going to get out there. And he definitely knows the offense better and has more snaps and experience. And when you have a 2-minute drill situation with 47 seconds left, no timeouts, this is the guy you want managing it. Usually start off with a screen or a draw, something to try and get yourself into a better field position before you're going downfield.
Hand off to Green. He gains about 3, which actually now for the quarter will put Northwestern into positive territory for total offense. They were at minus 2 yards of total offense in the second quarter. Before that, what is a 4-yard game?
They don't have to snap it necessarily here, but they decided to go ahead and do it.
Right back to Trayvon Green. 20 seconds left.
And now I don't know that they will snap it again. Might call this halftime.
Now the one bright spot for Northwestern in this half was the 89-yard kickoff return for touchdown from Solomon Vault. Other than that, the turnovers were the story for Northwestern. And the wind blew the ball off the tee. It's Jack Mitchell, the redshirt sophomore out of Torrey Pines High School in San Diego. That wind making it feel like 37 degrees. Really not a bad day, but for the kid from San Diego, Mitchell, it may feel a little chilly.
It's all relative, right?
So here we go into half number 2, and great to have you along with us. Playing for the Land of Lincoln Trophy and also bowl eligibility. The winner of this game becomes bowl eligible. The loser's season will come to an end. So a lot of riding here. Let's take a look at our first half highlights.
Well, we talked about the turnovers. Here's the first interception thrown by Zach Oliver. That led to this Ferguson touchdown as he pounds it up the middle, and then The forced fumble here, Jihad Ward knocks it out of Oliver's hands. The Illini come up with it, and Dudek wide open in the end zone on the receiving end of that Riley O'Toole touchdown pass, and O'Toole brings the group back out after putting on that kind of show in the first half with some nice numbers.
First and 10 Illinois on their own 25-yard line.
O'Toole to throw on first down, looking for Dudek, and that was caught, but not. Well, they're going to say he got in bounds. Matthew Harris.
It was a great catch by Harris, laid himself out. The question is, did the foot get down in bounds before he hit out of bounds with the football? Here's the break. And you see he makes the play there. Looks like he got his hand in bounds, but
Previous play of an interception is under further review.
he's got to establish the knees in bounds right there. That's an interception. He established himself in bounds, had possession of the football. In my humble opinion, that play will stand. Now Steve Beckman up in the replay booth. Let's see what his humble opinion amounts to.
Well, watch the hand again, Ray. And I think the question is,
well, it was the knee is what established him down. The hand is.
but if the hand's out of bounds, he's out of bounds.
Right.
So it has to be in bounds.
Correct, and I believe it is. And this is another definitive look. And, you know, I don't see anything that's going to turn this thing over in terms of indisputable video evidence.
So your point, which is a very valid one, Ray, is the fact when the knee's down, he's down, and then a fraction of a second after that, his torso goes down to the ground out of bounds.
Correct.
But the fact that the knee was already down, it should at least stand this call if not be confirmed.
Yeah, I think John Madden wrote a book way back when, 1 knee equals 2 feet. Well, in college football, 1 knee equals 1 foot. I don't know how you get to that math, but it looked to me like this is a legitimate interception and play here.
Remarkable.
By Matthew Harris.
Very athletic. You know, watching it live in real time, Ray, I didn't think there was any way he came down inbounds, but you look at that and he
You're
did.
right. It looked like he was out, but
After further
he
review,
got it.
the ruling on the field stands.
Yeah, couldn't confirm it, but it didn't matter. They made the right call on the field, in my opinion, and now all of a sudden Northwestern starts taking the ball away. See if they can add points from it.
Yeah, the first Illinois turnover after Northwestern turned it over 4 times in the first half. So from the 42 of the Illini, the Northwestern offense out onto the field. Vitale in motion. This is the quarterback. Oliver hands off. Jackson running right, finds a crease inside the 35, down near a first down at the 32-yard line. Tackled by Fedulum.
That's been really the extent of this Northwestern offense so far this afternoon. Justin Jackson.
Just a little bit short, so it's 2nd and 1. It sets up some opportunities here to throw for Oliver going towards the end zone. Incomplete. Intended for Mike McHugh. I don't know if McHugh slowed down a little bit at the end. When that ball was in the air, I thought this was going to be a touchdown.
It looked like he was pulling away, and you're right. He did not continue to just run straight forward. It looked like he took a little gallop step. Right there, you see the legs kind of stopped going forward, and that cost him about enough to maybe get to the football.
Now they need the first down on 3rd and short and get it from Justin Jackson inside the 30.
Ran up behind that left guard, Jeff Mogus. He was able to push people out of the way.
First down Wildcats from the 30 of Illinois as Northwestern trying to take advantage of the Fighting Illini's first turnover of the game. Oliver looked right. Now he sees a big opening and takes off, wrapped up at the 22-yard line by Clayton Fedulum. That's an 8-yard run.
And that shows you a little bit of the comfort level of Oliver. I think he's starting to get his feet back on the ground. That was a nice decision. Nothing down there. Tuck it away. Go forward. Get yourself into another nice 2nd and short.
And the give. Enough for the first down.
Well, Fedulum came up and he had ill intent on his mind making that tackle. And he really impressed me late in the game against Penn State. Came in and was flying around the field. Extremely good in the run game, coming up and being a part of that.
First time in the red zone today for Northwestern. Illinois has been in the red zone 6 times. Reverse, Scanlon going to put it in the air. The receiver was not looking, and then by the time he looked back, bumped into the defender at the goal line, and it's incomplete.
That's there today, so going down that list.
Jackson running left behind the block of Vitale Buckley, but let's pick up about 2 yards before he's stopped by Dewan Smoot.
Yeah, Smoot came running from the entirely back side. Showed some good speed for a big guy at 6'3", 270. Ran it down.
That is a big man right there.
Yeah, and a big man who was motoring.
Just a sophomore out of Groveport, Ohio. Well, 3rd down and 8. Motioning into the backfield goes Green. Oliver dumps it off. There's a flag, though. Ushered out of bounds at the 18 is Green. With the flag.
Ernest Thomas III was just waiting for that screen pass. The senior linebacker was having none of it.
Personal foul, face mask, offense number 73. That penalty's declined, 4th down.
Right guard Adam DePietro called for the face mask on the offensive side.
See if you can catch DePietro.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, pretty obvious there, number 73, the right tackle. He just latched right onto the face mask. Easy to discern by the officiating crew, and that'll put Northwestern in a field goal situation.
34-yard attempt. Jack Mitchell gets it away and knocks it through.
And as you stated, Mark, makes it a 2-possession game at 16 points. However, plenty of time left to play in this game.
Mitchell with the wind at his back to kick off. He turned as if he assumed that ball was going to blow off the tee, and it did.
Yeah, you got to figure that's kind of been what's happening. Odds are pretty good. Eventually, they'll have somebody come out and hold it for him.
Mike Dudek back at the goal line for Illinois. Not returnable, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line.
Riley O'Toole get his first crack at offense here in the second half. Played outstanding. 13 of 24, 118 yards and a pair of touchdowns in that first half, and then carried the ball 10 times for another 66 yards. He was the straw that stirred the drink for the Illini in that first half. Making a lot of plays.
The 7th and 8th touchdown passes of the year in that first half. That pick, though, earlier in this quarter, 7th time he's been picked off this year. Fake the jet sweep, and he keeps it himself. O'Toole runs it ahead across the 30 for a gain of a little over 5 to 6 yards.
That's such a big weapon when your quarterback's an effective ball carrier. It just gets you another hat in the running game. And it slows down a pass rush a little bit.
11 carries for O'Toole, 72 rushing yards for the Illini quarterback.
He's our leading rusher as well.
Hands it off. Ferguson runs left, cuts back across the 35, and has a first down to the 36-yard line. 6-yard run tackled by Anthony Walker.
Yeah, nice little cut by Ferguson. Put that foot in the ground and headed due south.
Dudek in the slot at the top of the screen. Back to Ferguson, who makes a spin move and a second and runs past another defender before he's wrapped up at the 47-yard line of Northwestern.
He doubled down on the spinneroonie. This is good running right here. You see he's going to skate outside, makes the first man miss with a spin, sets up Ibrahim Campbell with another spin, and he got himself the daily double there and a first down.
10 carries, 50 yards for Ferguson. Now slung out to Dudek on the edge. They'll mark him out at the 43-yard line.
And the Illini have been the more explosive football team on offense here today. You see guys making spin moves, jumping and flying around on the edge, Dudek making plays. That's been the difference in this ball game.
Ferguson thrown down at the 42, a late flag. Tackle by Dean Lowry.
And Lowry was on a stunt. He looped inside and ended up right in the hole and had to reach out to snag the ball carrier.
Our referee today, Sean Smith.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 94, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, automatic first down.
And when Lowry is snagged, he snagged more than just the ball carrier. He ends up snagging the face mask right there. It's pretty obvious what the situation was. Easy call for the officials.
All right, in front of the umpire, Steve Woods, and back judge Todd Ransom. Fourth penalty for nearly 50 yards against Northwestern today. And a first down, Illinois at the 27 of the Cats. Ferguson cut back right and stumbled, was able to put his hand down, keep his balance enough to get close to the line of scrimmage, but does lose a half yard or a yard.
Yeah, he was running basically what amounts to a counter. He went to the quarterback to get the football and then was going to head right back and retrace his steps, and that's when he started to stumble.
O'Toole delivers to the 25. The catch by Lacoste to the 20, an 8-yard gain.
Lacoste has been an effective receiver today. That's his second grab. Big target. 6'6", 250-pound senior at tight end, but they've moved him out on the edge. He's basically played as a stand-up receiver.
See, they haven't converted a third down since converting 3 of their first 5, and this is a third down and a long 3. Keeping first down. Riley O'Toole, and that's the element of the offense that you have mentioned, Ray, numerous times today, that they don't have when Wes Lund is in the game, and we haven't seen Lund today.
Yeah, no question about it. This gives him that added dimension. Now he's going to take a little bit of a shot here on this one. He gets his legs landed on pretty good there by Carter, and he's slow getting up. We'll see if it affects Riley O'Toole.
First down to Illini at the 14.
Huge disparity. Illini with 12 more first downs than what the Wildcats have put together.
In motion, Davis running right. Nowhere for Ferguson that time. Jarrell Williams and others of the Northwestern defense to stop him.
Yeah, Williams did a nice job keeping contained. As you see what's at stake here today, this is a huge ball game. Not only the Land of Lincoln Trophy, but the winner here will get their record to 6-6 and play on into the bowl season. The loser, not so much. They'll be done.
Long look to the sideline by O'Toole. Well, he's got a lot of time. Checks down underneath to the 12-yard line. Harris with the tackle on Taylor.
And you're right, check down is exactly what it was.
Barr, that is, with the catch.
As Barr just really sat down in that short side, boundary side flat, and if nothing else was available, that was the bailout for O'Toole, and he found it and got himself a few yards out of the deal.
Spread it out on third down at 5.
Dudek's in the tight slot at the top.
O'Toole to the end zone at the goal line. Touchdown. Right back to Martez Barr.
That was a whale of a throw by O'Toole, who is playing some of his best football of the year right here this afternoon. Knew where he wanted to go, threw it perfectly down low, no defender near to get to it. Knew he got one right there.
Third touchdown catch of the year for Barr. Third touchdown pass for O'Toole.
Yeah, Riley O'Toole stomping around, having some fun.
Point after for Taylor Zaleski. 11 plays, 75 yards, took right at 5 minutes.
That was a fun one to play for. By the way, Michigan, Ohio State tied up at 21 apiece. The Wolverines fighting for Brady Hoke here in the final Saturday of the regular season for the Wolverines.
Low line drive is going to go into the end zone for a touchback. I bet Matt Schick in the studio has a little bit more on that. Matt, can you fill us in?
Michigan fighting to become bowl eligible themselves at 5-6 on the year.
Last loss for Northwestern here at home was their last home game. They lost to Michigan here 10-9 back on November 8th. Justin Jackson runs left, cuts back. Nice jump cut across the 35 up to the 39-yard line. That's a run of 14, tackled by Caleb Day. But you told me when we were preparing for this game, Ray, watch Jackson's feet. They never get too high above the ground.
Yeah, he's one of those chop type runners, a tap dancer, if you will. And boy, does he have a knack of knowing when to cut it up the field.
Cut back there, but then a wrap up by Austin Teitzma, nose tackle.
Yeah, Teitzma is a beast in there alongside. He and Rob Bain, number 96, those two guys in there, they are the guts, kind of the anchor of this Illini defense. They do a heck of a job together.
Tackle for loss for Teitzma. That was a loss of 3. Jackson again met in the hole and then hit from behind. Fedulum and Ward there.
Boy, and that's what Fedulum does so well, and what impresses me about him. He's such a sure tackler. A lot of times that safety will be the 8th man or 7th man into the box. There's not a hat for him, so he's not going to get blocked. The question is, can he make a sure, solid tackle? The answer is emphatically yes in the case of Clayton Fedulum.
Northwestern needing to convert a 3rd and 11 to extend this drive from their own 39. Oliver lets it go and has his man open for a first down at the 44. Tony Jones.
And that is the strength of the arm of Zach Oliver. That was a long throw, an out route up to the top from the far hash, and he hits it, and it's a perfect strike, and the timing was right on.
That's the first completion over 7 yards for Oliver today, and it went for 18. Green, the ball carrier to the 41, or about 3.
Green also has a nice knack of knowing when to put the foot in the ground and head up the field. One thing I don't like about zone read offense, so often that back will get his shoulders perpendicular to the line of scrimmage. That makes it hard to cut back upfield, but these guys have a knack for it.
Green didn't have any room that time.
Right back into this ball game.
Right now, down 16. Catch made by Youngblood Airy. Near a first down up to the 35 of the Illini.
Oh, and ever since that previous drive.
I'm out on the field for an injured Northwestern player.
Jeff Mogus, the left guard, is down. We have a moment. They attend to Mogus. Let's check in with Matt Schick in the studio. Matt.
Receiving attendance for the Wildcats, number 53, Jeff Mogus.
Matt, thanks. As Mogus looks like he's about to get to his feet. Matt makes a good point there, Ray. You know, it's not only winning, but how you win. So this game obviously doesn't seem like it's helping Ohio State today.
Yeah, one phrase you heard come out last week was control of a game. And you want to see teams in control of games. That's one thing that people have a knock against Florida State. Yeah, they keep winning, but they really don't control them games all that well.
But they're the lone unbeaten.
Correct. What are you going to do about that?
Good to see Mogus off on his own power. The third down, it's short. Didn't need a lot. Teitzma with the tackle, but
be short, I believe. It's
where they have it marked right now. Need to get to the 34. They got it marked just past the 35. I'm telling you, Northwestern's going to go for this right here.
Really need to, don't they? Down
Yeah,
16.
pretty much. You have to. You're into the fourth quarter now. There's no sense holding anything back.
4th and less than a yard. And a pitch running left. Cut through, and there goes Justin Jackson. Headed to the end zone. Touchdown.
Great call by Mick McCall. They had Illinois all jammed up inside, expecting a run, either a sneak or something between the tackles. McCall goes with the toss sweep, and they get the edge in a quick hurry. And how about Hanrahan, number 1, that fullback, who's actually a tight end playing fullback, gets the kick-out block. And now Northwestern, having been down 16, they need 2 8s. So they got their first 6. They want to make it an 8 and get to within 1 score.
So Vitale in motion. Now back to the near side. Now back to the far side. Looking in his direction. Throws. Got him. 2-point conversion. Converted. Cameron Dickerson. And now it's a 1-score game.
Real nice play. They tested the edge with Vitale. Dickerson comes inside on the slant. Zach Oliver has the patience, sits in there, and delivers the strike. And Northwestern is pulled to within 8 now. We've got a ball game.
Available on your mobile devices and tablets whenever you need it. Here's the squib. Taken at the 35 by the up man up to the 44-yard line. So good starting field position for Illinois. You know, Oliver looks like a different quarterback here in the second half for Northwestern. You know, Northwestern had 9 possessions in the first half. Their longest drive in the first half was 23 yards. They've had 3 possessions in this second half, none less than 24 yards. In fact, that 83-yard drive, their last possession. But winner of this game gets to play on. They become bowl eligible. The loser's season comes to an end. Both teams fighting for bowl eligibility here and for the Landon Lincoln Trophy. Pump fake and O'Toole running. We're close to 4 to the 48.
One of the things you have to have is patience when you're going to run this quarterback draw. And I'm not going to give Riley O'Toole high marks on this one. You have to set up and really sell the fake throw. Otherwise, guys are going to see that it's just a perfunctory fake, no big deal, and they're going to be able to close in on you and make a play just like Drew Smith did.
Dudek, the receiver, at the bottom of your screen.
He's been the man thus far.
Keeping O'Toole. With that last lunge, looks like he has the first down at close to the 45-yard line of Northwestern.
And I'm going to give O'Toole high marks on this one, as he attacked the line of scrimmage on a really nice angle. When you're running those kind of edge option plays, you don't want to banana it out or bend it. You want to attack in a straight line right at the edge of the defense and force somebody to commit to stop you. Nobody was there. O'Toole gets the first down.
Illinois quarterback, 15 carries, now 93 rushing yards for Riley O'Toole.
Closing in on the century mark.
First down at the 46 of the Wildcats. He handed off this time. Ferguson makes a nice move past the defender and breaks free. Josh Ferguson.
Touchdown.
46-yard touchdown run, and Illinois quickly responds with perhaps a back-breaking touchdown.
Boy, they answered. They answered in a hurry, and the patience that Ferguson shows in this run. Watch him, you know, it's almost like he doesn't have the ball. Just nice and easy there, and then boom. He sees it, he sets the man up in the hole, makes the outside cut, gets that seam, and it's a foot race, and Araguzzo didn't have a chance.
Second touchdown run of the day for Ferguson. And a 1-yard TD back in the first quarter. Look at that, 3 plays. Over a minute and a half, and the extra point.
It's 101.3 yards coming into this one, 116th in the country. They've ripped off 234 yards on the ground today, Mark, averaging 5.3 per carry. You got the quarterback, Riley O'Toole, with 93 yards. Ferguson now with 94 yards. And Young has got 47
thrown into the mix. Put the pressure right back on Zach Oliver, who's kind of turned things up here. You look at his yards by quarter, and had a great third quarter, and picked it up early in the fourth in their only drives thus far, and was continuing to make things happen. So he has come of age a little bit, giving Northwestern a chance here.
In motion, Vitale. Oliver dumps it off. Jackson to the 32. Nice pickup of 7 on first down.
Yeah, nice play by DeJazz Woods. Haven't mentioned Woods much yet today, the big senior defensive end who is one of the playmakers on this defense for the Illini.
Spotted him down at the 30, so it was a gain of 5. That one stuffed after just about only a 1-yard gain, if that.
Yeah, Monheim and company just showed up in the hole there along with Teitzma. It's tough sledding between the tackles against this Illini defense.
So a 3rd and 5. Make it 3rd and 4. Long 4.
Bunch set down here at the bottom, see if they scatter it.
Oliver looking in that direction for Vitale, incomplete, and a flag. He reached around. Thomas created the contact.
And I think he got there early. It was a swirl route by Vitale. He took it outside and then swirled back in. That created the opening, and it really gave Thomas only one shot.
Pass interference. Defense, number 9. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic. First down.
And that shot is to go over the back. Nice throw, a strike right in there, and ooh, I don't know, baby.
You know, that
looked
angle
like
there
looked like a good football play right there, didn't it?
I know a former defender like yourself may slant that way.
Tend to lean that direction.
Doing some dance to Trayvon Green, fighting for 3 yards to the 39.
Yeah, you got Teitzma and Monheim in there on the tackle along with TJ Neal.
Give to Green, running left. We're able to turn that corner for a couple of yards to the 43, 44-yard line, held up there by Zane Petty, senior safety.
Hey, Green kept looking for that right turn and ran out of road. Nice job stringing it out by the Illini defense. Need to rise up here on his 3rd and 2.
Oliver decided he was going to run, and that not the right decision. He's tackled back at the 42 by Jared Clements.
Boy, and Oliver had Justin Jackson over in the flat. All he had to do was dump it out. Watch the running back. He's just going to head right to the flat. There's nobody out there. He could just drop this ball to him and get the first down easily, but his eyes never got in that direction.
Ramone's punt into that breeze, angling towards the near sideline. Goes out of bounds about the 20. 10-13 left, 4th quarter, 40-25, Illinois.
Knock off those Seminoles. A lot of people I talk to want to see that happen for some reason.
Kept by O'Toole. Uses a block from Young. And up to the 28-yard line, a gain of close to 9 before he's tackled by Jimmy Hall.
And Riley O'Toole has got to be in the mid-90s in terms of his grading out in this game in regards to the decisions he's made. I can't recall a terrible decision by him throughout. He's been outstanding in terms of where to go with the football. His zone reads have been really immaculate. He's played a whale of a ball game.
And he has 103 of those 243 rushing yards today.
And that's what the team averaged coming in per game. He got it himself.
Keeping it again.
And that's smart football, knowing, hey, it's 2nd and 1, and almost, use it as a follow type of a call where he's going to make that fake, ride the ball with the back, and then tuck up right behind him and follow him into the hole. Good decision.
Picks up the first down at the 33, clock running. Just over 9 minutes to go in this fourth quarter.
And I would imagine Illinois will now pull back on the throttle, start milking that clock and using as much of that play clock as they can each and every snap.
Running left, keeping it again, and O'Toole breaks free. He'll take a slide, though, at the 41-yard line.
Smart football, keep the clock running. And this is, again, the angle that he takes, Mark, on this speed option is what separates it and makes it worthwhile and makes it work. He attacks directly in a straight line at the edge of the defense and forces somebody to declare and commit they've got quarterback. Well, nobody did, so he just kept rolling.
For a 25-yard gain. And a first down at the 43 of Northwestern. Clock still moving, 8.5 minutes to go.
That puts him at 131 rushing yards on the afternoon.
This time hands it off, and Young wrapped up. We'll pick up about 2 or 3. Tackled by Anthony Walker. Well, let's take a look at today's Good Hands play, brought to you by Allstate.
Well, there's a lot of ways to have good hands, and Drew Smith, the pass rusher, put up the big hand to knock it down, and that's a good hands play, and that thwarted an Illinois drive. Drew Smith, the Allstate Good Hands play of the game.
Redshirt junior out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Coleraine High School.
Played quite well today for Northwestern. We've seen him flying around all over the field making plays. You're going to need one from him right now.
O'Toole squirts through again before he stood up at the 35-yard line and pushed back, but will be about 2 yards shy of the first down. The cornerback, Jarrell Williams, was the one that stood him up.
Boy, and if he hadn't, O'Toole, look, he had a chance to go to the house, a distance on that one. He is finding his way to just continue to move down the field, whether it's on the edge or up inside on the zone read stuff. He's had a knack today. 19 carries, 136 yards. That's great production out of that position.
147 yards passing.
Coach Beckman's got to be real happy with the way his senior quarterback O'Toole has played today.
They snap it with the play clock at 4, and O'Toole tackled for a loss this time back at the 39, run down by Dean Lowry.
Yeah, that's what you call going to the well one too many times with that lead option, or the speed option, I should say. And Lowry was just sitting, waiting on him. And you saw the result. Brings up a 4th down. The Illini will be forced to punt this one. Try and pin the Wildcats back inside their own 10-yard line would be a good goal here.
That, by the way, Ray, that was the first negative rush for O'Toole today.
There is nobody back to return this punt for Northwestern. They're just going to let it roll.
And it's going to be down just outside the 5 as a result of that. Northwestern will take over with just 6:06 to go.
Performance against Virginia Tech. He's been one of the best players in the country.
Oliver's pass looking for Jones, incomplete. Well, Illinois has not won a road game this year. They're 0-4 on the road, but they're 6:03 away from their first road win, which would make them bowl eligible for the first time in a few years. They haven't made a bowl game since the 2011 Kraft Bowl. Oliver from the end zone, high and incomplete in the direction of Vitale.
Yeah, Fedulum right there, ready to make a play. And I tell you, I got to give Tim Beckman a lot of credit for the way he has kept this team together and the way they came out prepared to play today, having to win one on the road in a rivalry game with all the things that are on the line. His guys were ready to go.
Again, Oliver caught but then immediately hit at the 10. McHugh by Eden Spence. 5-yard gain. Second catch for McHugh today.
Northwestern basically backs against the wall right now. 4th down here on their own 12, and they got to go for it.
They may very well be on the line right here for the Cats. Oliver's pass, and they get the first down, and down the sideline goes Jackson, breaks a tackle, and another. Brought down at the 47-yard line. What a huge play there before he's tackled by Eaton Spence. 35-yard gain.
Yeah, they had Jackson all the way on the other side. He motions across and then runs that arrow route right to the flat and gets kind of almost a pick with Mike McHugh coming inside. He dragged a couple defenders with him and left that edge, that sideline wide open.
Big fourth down conversion for the Cats, but then it's picked off.
Monheim
Headed the other way. Mason Monheim pick 6.
Touchdown. Oliver's pass is
And it looks like the Fighting Illini are going to go bowling this year.
Monheim's second pick of the season, takes it to the house.
interception.
And I got to tell you, Zach Oliver, he wants that one back. He just let it float a little too much over to the edge. Decided to throw it late. And when you make those late decisions, sometimes you end up regretting them. And I'm sure he does that one as Monheim in perfect position.
Taylor Zaleski.
5th Northwestern turnover today. 3rd time that Oliver's been picked.
Got a long history. Illinois trying to get the proper football out on the field. Illinois has a deep history of linebackers. And Monheim is the next one in line.
Where do you buy a stovepipe hat?
I don't know, but there's your guy right there.
Extra point for Zaleski. This is the most points that Illinois has scored in a game this season. Lead at 47-25. The previous high was 42 in a win in week 2 over Western Kentucky. How about these linebackers?
Yeah,
Butkus,
Dick
Hardy.
Butkus is synonymous with football and linebacker, and Hardy and Howard. You've got a long list of guys that have really played well, and Monheim is the latest addition of the monster of the Midway for Illinois in that defense. You know, Butkus goes back. My dad played against him. He played for Duffy Doherty at Michigan State in the early 60s, and all the family stories, the legends that are being passed on down, how he used to go toe-to-toe with Dick Butkus back in the day.
Dad had some good ones.
Oh, yeah. Maybe slightly embellished over the years, but hey.
You have the right to do that with age, don't you?
That's right. It's our family story, and we'll tell it how we like.
Pick 6 for Monheim. Just under 5 minutes to go now. 47-25 Illinois. Well, there have been many big drives for Illinois, but I'm going to say the one, Ray, most important, when Northwestern made it a one-possession game. They were down 8, and Illinois came right back.
Yeah, 3 plays, wham, 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 and just said, no, we're not having any of that.
Well, Auburn looks to upset top-ranked Alabama in a rematch of last year's epic Iron Bowl. ESPN College Football, number 15 Auburn, number 1 Alabama tonight at 7:45 Eastern on ESPN.
We'll get any field goal returns tonight?
And yeah, I'm going to say that's probably remote, especially to end the game. But who knows in that rivalry, because the winner's played for the national championship every year since 2009.
Yeah, how about that? That's an amazing statistic. The Iron Bowl is a play-in to win the title, basically.
Another dangerous pass, but that one is caught by Cameron Dickerson. That one was in the air a while, and Caleb Day saying, I had a shot at that one.
Yeah, his eyes got all big. He saw that ball floating out there and almost stepped in front and took it the other way.
5, 2nd and 5.
Taking a deep shot here. Incomplete at the 30. Going for McHugh. Eaton Spence, the quarterback, on the coverage.
That was a really nice throw, actually, by Oliver into the wind. He drops it in here perfectly, and there's a little bit of early contact, but McHugh.
He had that for a moment.
Yeah, that was landed in his breadbasket. He just wasn't able to wrap it up, put the lid on it, seal it up, and get it home.
That was just about a perfect pass. Oliver there facing 3rd and 5.
There's no doubt about the talent and the arm of Oliver. Just got to learn the position a little bit better and give him some experience, and I think he's going to end up being a good quarterback.
Well, Dickerson short of the first down, so now they face a 4th down from their 31. 4th and 4.
Yeah, no doubt, Mark, that they have to go for this. They are starting to really find themselves in a desperate situation.
In motion, Green. Oliver to the sticks, caught. And the first down converted. Pierre Youngblood Airy with the catch.
Nice throw there. That's the thing. When you have the ability to throw the ball like Oliver does, you can make a lot of plays. But you know, the mistakes that come along with, you know, the growth process are really what you have to overcome.
Oliver, as that pocket collapses, rolls out. Now took a little bump, but finds the receiver at the 41. Again, Cameron Dickerson, a gain of close to 5.
Good job of Dickerson in the scramble drill, coming back to his quarterback. And you know, the basic rules are, if you ran a short route in the quarterback scrambles, you go deep. If you ran a deep route and he's scrambling, come back to him. And that's exactly what Dickerson did.
Oliver deflected, and that's almost picked off. And guess who nearly had another pick?
Was that Monheim again?
Yep.
Patrol in the middle. Well, TJ Neal has the initial coverage. He's the one who, well, it was just actually just missed by the receiver. And you're right, Monheim almost one-handed that thing.
Oliver underneath to the 43. Cooper on the tackle. Jamie Taylor with his first catch of the game, 9th of the year.
Brings up another 4th down, and Northwestern is obviously going for it again.
On 4th and 2. Oliver pass, first down catch. They'll keep the drive alive on the reception by Solomon Vault, who had the kickoff return for touchdown of 89 yards for their only score in the first half. Clock running, under 3 minutes to go. Going deep. And that wasn't a bad throw.
A little back shoulder attempt to Youngblood Airy. And Oliver, you know, back shoulder, dropped it in there where his guy could make a play, but Quanning was there for the Illini, and he just knocked that away at the end.
Oliver to the far side, and a first down catch to the 39 for Mike McHugh.
Yeah, he threw it right behind the blitz and hung in there and took the shot. Zach Oliver is growing before our very eyes, but unfortunately for him and the Wildcats, it's the last opportunity of the year.
And loser of this game finished. The winner bowl eligible. Another catch for McHugh. Spun down. Forward momentum will give him up to the 38-yard line of the Illini.
And the Illini have no problem giving up 2-yard pass plays at this point. They've got 6 defensive backs out on the field, and they're protecting anything over their heads is what they just can't allow right now.
Oliver's pass caught. Carr. First catch for him. Austin Carr first down to the 18. Oliver now 9 of 12 on this drive. That's a 22-yard pickup.
And I think having a little bit of tempo here has helped him also catch some rhythm.
They have all 3 of their timeouts, but would like to use those on defense if they can get a quick score here. Underthrown, but they say yes, that is caught by Youngblood Airy at the 4, so it is a 1st and goal.
That was actually really a nice throw by Zach Oliver. He had to kind of underthrow it.
Of a completed pass is under further review.
In order to fit it in there. Let's take a look and see if he got the hands underneath. He got any help from the ground. Looks clean to me.
Yep, it's good. 13-yard gain.
Another angle for you. Yeah, that ball never hit the turf. That's a good catch.
Should be a pretty easy look for our replay official, Steve Beckman.
And it gives Northwestern a chance to catch their breath after going so fast in this drive and try to come up with some way to put it in the end zone.
you'll have the onside kick to ensue.
Yeah, looking at a 3-score game right now and only a minute 46 left. Oliver on this drive, though, 10 of 13, 71 yards. I don't think there's any question. Got the hands under there.
And I think Oliver has made great strides in this game. You look at how he performed in that first half, and it left a lot to be desired. I mean, he was just 2 of 6 for 9 yards, had a couple of picks in that first half, but the second half, he's cranked it up.
Review, the ruling on the field of a completed pass is confirmed. First down, Northwestern.
Bruce Oliver making his first start after Trevor Simeon tore his ACL in the second quarter last week against Purdue. Season-ending injury.
Yeah, I was talking about Oliver in the second half, Mark. He's hit on 20 of 29 for 208 yards. It's been night and day, really, for him, the growth and maturation curve.
In the first half, he was 2 for 6 for 6 yards into the end zone, incomplete for Tony Jones. Covered by Eric Finney.
Good coverage by Finney. It's tough. You got that guy cutting across your face like that to use your body and not cause a penalty by reaching over that shoulder.
Oliver to the end zone. The little pushing there, incomplete for Youngblood Airy. Devontae Quanning with the coverage.
And not very good timing on that. You try to throw it up and let your guy maybe out jump or take advantage of the height differential, as Quanning is 5'11" and Youngblood Airy is 6'3". So got a nice matchup there if you'd like. Well, it looks like Illinois is going to bring that blitz off the corner and try and heat Oliver up. See if they come with it. Oh, yeah.
Yep. Short throw, but caught, touchdown.
Well, that's what you want to do. You throw behind the blitz, because if a guy is blitzing, that means someone else has to come over from somewhere and take his coverage. So if you can get it out quick right behind the blitz, you can make money, and that's exactly what they did. Green getting the inside position on Fedulum and count it.
First touchdown of the year for the senior, Trayvon Green. And it's a touchdown catch, capping off a 16-play drive that went 75 yards in 3.5 minutes.
And there's really no need to go for 2 here. Just the extra point itself would get you to within 15.
And converted on their only other 2-point conversion.
Got a man open in the end zone if you can find him.
Oliver
There he is.
does indeed. Found him, converted, caught by Tony Jones.
Jones was open the whole time. He was sitting right in the middle, and then he kept working over with the quarterback, Oliver, and I was wondering if Oliver was ever going to find him. He finally did.
So it's a 14-point game.
Here's the 2-point conversion again, and you see right there, number 6, just running across the back of that. Nobody near him. Finally, Oliver finds him.
He almost ran himself into being
did.
covered.
You don't want to really choke it down, though, because then that sets up a defender to slide right in front of you, you know.
Well, minute 28 left. Pat Fitzgerald's team.
Well, they're going to roll the onside kick team out here and see if they can do something miraculous. Northwestern 0 for 2 on the season in onside kick attempts. I hate this when they have 2 kickers up there. It really doesn't fool anybody a whole lot. And I think it takes your kicker off his game trying to be tricky.
Nice Wander's 32, and Mitchell's number 8, and it's recovered by Illinois at the 44. So they just need 1 first down to end this game, because Northwestern has 3 timeouts they can use, and here comes the trophy.
Yeah, and that's a sad walk for Northwestern personnel.
knowing that you're going to be giving that thing up.
For the first time in a couple of years.
There she is.
Land of Lincoln Trophy.
Beautiful piece of hardware right there.
44-yard line.
No mantle complete without it. There we go. The exchange has been made.
So if they're going to exchange the trophy already, so there's the run by Ferguson, then I'm going to update the records. Because,
all right.
even though they have their 3 timeouts that they're going to use, and Northwestern uses their first, and Illinois win, they go to 6-6. They're bowl eligible, 3-5 in conference. Northwestern would drop to 5-7, finish the year 3-5 in conference play.
And finish the year is right. No bowl bids available for 5 and 7 football teams, but on the other side, Tim Beckman's outfit going to play on as you see the Land of Lincoln Trophy factoids.
Bronze replica of the stovepipe hat worn by Abraham Lincoln. By the way, if you go to the Smithsonian, you can see an original, actual stovepipe
The real
hat.
deal, like the
Yes.
Wow.
In fact, I believe you
I've
can find that at the Smithsonian.
I've been to the Smithsonian, but I wasn't aware that they had the stovepipe
do.
hat there. I got to check that back out.
There's a lot to see there. So
There is. I spent a week there one day.
you can do that. Fake the pass, and now O'Toole running. And with this first down, is going to take a seat, slide, and that's going to do it. All they needed was 1 first down, and now they can run it out, even with the 2 timeouts remaining for Northwestern, and it's official now.
And I'm going to nominate Riley O'Toole for the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week. With the way he's gotten it done today, nothing short of amazing. 17 of 28, 3 touchdowns through the air, 20 carries, 134 yards on the ground. Just an outstanding performance for the senior quarterback, the Fighting Illini.
And the interesting part about that, Ray, is here's Ferguson running. You know, we've been told all week that it's a game-time decision between Wes Lunt and Riley O'Toole, and nothing personal against Wes Lunt, but they made the right decision today with Riley O'Toole.
I thought it would go to O'Toole just based on the way he finished the game against Penn State last week. The offense just moved, you know. I think having that added dimension of the running threat at quarterback really made the difference for him, and you don't have that with Wes Lunt. Lunt's got incredible arm talent, can drop it into tight spaces all over the field, and that's great. But this is what you want here, a balanced attack.
Northwestern's turnovers, and they just fell into too big of a hole, too much to overcome for the Wildcats today, Ray.
Yeah, tough day for them. Coach Fitz will be all right. They'll rally again, and congratulations to Tim Beckman and company.
Illinois wins at 47-33 over Northwestern.